back to business listings. They're less they're less common now in terms of businesses don't really spend a lot of time joining listings because A, it takes a long time, and B, most people think that people aren't going to find their business, their ideal client isn't going to find them on a typical business listing. Not long ago, I had a call from someone who said they found me on Yellow Pages. Do people still use Yellow Pages? I was like, okay. So people out there still do use business listings, and again, going back to the SEO perspective, it tells Google that you're relevant. It tells Google that you're, a well-known business. If you're popping up everywhere, it will also help your ranking. It will also help you show up in AI results. We're all seeing AI summaries above search results now. It scrapes all of these types of listings, as well as social media, as well as review platforms, as well as forums. There's businesses out there like Bright Local that can do this en masse for you and your business, so you don't have to spend hours doing this manually. Okay. Has anyone heard of Bright Local? No? Okay, perfect. So it's super important to have a consistent name, address, and phone number across all of your platforms, because if you go and try and use a service like Bright Local and your name is something different on Instagram, something different on Facebook, your website is something different, your LinkedIn page is something different, that's not going to work. You're just going to confuse the algorithm. They're going to think you're 4 or 5 separate individual businesses. So it's very important to have consistency across all platforms. Is that a question?
Just one quick
Yeah,
one.
go for it.
So what if you have a product and you don't have an address because it's an e-commerce? That's the problem I have.
That's fine. You still have a business name, right?
I have a business name and I've got that there, but
Yeah, so you'll still have, do you not have a business address?
no, I've just got a PO box.
Okay, that's what
But Google won't take it.
Yeah, so you would have to set up as a service location. All right, so from a Google business profile perspective, you would set up a service area location business, not a business with a physical address.
Okay.
So, and it's the same even for businesses that might be a home business, that they don't want everyone to know their home address until they book. They would have to choose that as well, because if you select a physical address, in a lot of instances now, Google will ask you for a video verification because they'll need to confirm that you're a physical address, you've got permanent signage, and that you're not just trying to tweak the system. Because back in the day, they would just send you a postcard to your home address, and you could verify your location that way. Obviously, people that knew that just did that at mass. So that's why they've gone down the video verification route. So as I mentioned, having your business on multiple platforms will help Google, will help your page rank, and it will also help or increase the likelihood of being shown in AI summaries as well. So you want to be showing up not just in the Google search results, not just on Google Maps, but also in AI snippets. So there's a lot to contend with now with technology and with AI coming into play. They're trying hard to match search intent with the right product or the right service. So it's so important to have a consistent brand, otherwise all of this goes out of the window. Also, going back to that slide, it's a lot of people dismiss sites like Gumtree, where you can actually have a listing. I have a listing on Gumtree, but I don't expect leads from it. But what it does, again, it tells Google that with Eric's help is relevant in Adelaide, providing X, Y, and Z services. So again, Gumtree is another one which, again, you can set up these listings and not really expect too much from it, but from an SEO and ranking perspective, it's a big thumbs up. A lot of business owners, when they're creating their website, they really try and rush through that process and forget about the opportunity, which is content helps Google, helps AI potentially rank your site and your brand. Okay, So if you've only got a home page, one or two service pages, an about us page, and that's it, you're really limiting your opportunity to rank. So these are just some examples of ways to flesh out your site and still provide important information that again will help your site rank. Again, these are just some other examples of ways you can improve your visibility. Partnering with complementary businesses, as I'm doing here now with Rose, having great partnerships where you can be of benefit to other businesses that might have a similar clientele to what you serve, is a great opportunity. Community events, and getting people to join your email list. I see on so many websites it just has a button that says join my email list, and that's it. That's not it's not really going to do the trick. So for a lot of businesses, even just having a lead magnet of some sort that's going to provide value and provide people an incentive to join your email list. But you also have to think what happens after that. Do you have anything in the back end that's going to start nurturing your subscribers? Because if someone subscribes to your website and nothing happens after that, you've lost an opportunity there. Getting featured in local media, even national media, you can pay for press releases. For all my SEO clients, we pay for media press releases about certain topics. Again, it gives you that visibility, even on popular news sites, Google News, Yahoo News, all the online news platforms. Because if we're continually repeating the fact that, all right, I'm a chiropractor in Norwood, it's going to boost that ability to rank for that keyword and multiple other keywords as well. So for a lot of businesses, even businesses that come to me saying, oh yeah, I want to start running ads, I want to start doing this, I want to start doing that, these are the kind of foundations that we go back to, because irrespective of running ads or anything like that, you want to make sure that the foundations are in place so that eventually you have that opportunity to be just found organically. You never want to just solely rely on Google ads or Meta ads without having these in place. So as I've mentioned before, your Google Business Profile, getting that optimized, and I've got a resource to share with you after of how you can do that yourself. You don't need to hire someone to do that for you. Again, your website review, I've got a ChatGPT prompt that I'll share with you, how you can even just get a high level overview of your website and things that you can potentially improve from an aesthetic perspective. Like I mentioned, directories, Bright Local is a great example. There are others. I've got no affiliation with Bright Local, but that's one I've used and they've done a great job. Free platforms, data. No one seems to like data, but it's essential. If you have a website, you really need to know how it's performing, if it's performing. I know an obvious statistic is if no one's finding it and no one's completing the lead forms, I think it's a good assumption to make that it's not doing much. But platforms like Google Search Console, Google Analytics, they're free. They do take a bit of time to learn, how to navigate them, but for most of them, there's only a couple of sections you only really need to learn anyway. Even your Google Business Profile Analytics, you can check how many people have clicked on your profile, how many people have called from your Google Business Profile, how many people have clicked the directions button. So even basic statistics like that you can check on your phone periodically. So yeah, once the basics are in place and you're doing them effectively and consistently, then the option to scale up is inevitably through Facebook or Google Ads. Again, it depends on where you're at with your business, but that is pretty much the criteria I work through with clients to get to that point. So yeah, my message is stand out, get the word out about your business, get in front of those people that you really need to get in front of, and partner with those people that have your ideal audience. You know, you can partner up through, as I mentioned before, free community events, workshops, webinars, the list goes on and on. But having a plan is the key. Okay. So that is the end of my presentation, everyone.